Well, welcome back to the trail. We're in Heysham today, near Morecambe, and we're just walking along the River Loon there, if you remember from last week's video, on Conda Green. We're in this area and I pointed to a sort of finger of land across the other side of the river called Sunderland Point, so we're going to make our way to that today. We're going to do a 13-mile circular up through Heysham near the power plant. We've got a bit of everything on this one. We've got some coastal walking, a little bit of urban, and then plenty of farmland. So about 5 degrees on the clock. It's quite cool today. I expect it'll warm up a bit. Overcast, as you can see, but dry, so we'll take that. Anyway, we've got this bit of road walking to do, and then we'll see what comes there. So this road I'm on at the minute is kind of isolated from the main road, so it's perfect dumping ground for rubbish. See quite a bit around here. Plus the road's liable to flooding, so all the flotsam gets washed up around here. Lovely. Nope, too cold. Put the old coat back on. Oh. So for the moment, I've got to stay on this main road, which is a bit tricky because there's not much room as far as pavement, but it's a quiet road, so most people have time to see me coming. This will take me all the way to the little village of Overton, and then we can go on from there to Sunderland Point. Just after Overton's about the 3-mile mark, we'll stop, we'll have a quick brew I think, get warmed up, because it is really cold today. Yeah, and as you can see behind me, big building there, it's Heysham power plant, we always point out whenever we're walking in this area. Bit of an eyesore, but from the first time I did this route, I really kind of expected, not having been here before, I expected this power plant to dominate the entire landscape, and it doesn't really. It's quite secluded when you're near it. It's only when you're looking at it from a distance it becomes this ugly eyesore. I mean, like there, it's fairly way off, but when we get round to that point, you can't really see it. So yeah, we'll press on, get these road miles done, bring you back when we're at Overton, because it's a bit hairy to film while we're walking down the road. A boat in the middle of a field. Little lammies. Nice little village. Those houses have weird boxes on them. Oh, some blue skies over there. Blue skies. Yeah, it's been exhausting 3 miles, to be fair. I didn't want to film in Overton because it was a school run. The schools are out on the main high street. That would have been super dodgy. But yeah, nice little village, busy. Now we're just heading down to the river where we're going to have our brew. There's a bench I remember from last time. But yeah, it was always checking I'm not getting run over. It was back day at the gym today. Man alive. Me and Passy beasted it out and now I'm feeling every inch of it. Might be worse than doing legs day. I'll have a few paracetamol and a brew. Desperate for a brew. Yeah, nice day though. It's dry, looks like it's going to stay dry, so the old Pilgrim weather report. So you see we're on a private track, only in the sense of no vehicles down here. It's a public footpath. We're going to go through that gate there, should be a bench with a nice view. Squeeze in. Glass and view. Butler's bench. Much needed rest. Tell you something, I'm goosed and I've only just started. Though my day began at 2:30 to be fair. That's when I got up. Took the dog out, Bible and prayer, gym, breakfast, drive here. This is my first brew. No energy drinks all morning. Because I live life on the edge. Cheers. Oh, I didn't realise it was lambing season. That's come about. What are we in? February. And over there, that's Glass and Dock from the Conda Green video. So we crossed there, followed the River Loon on the other side, and we're going to go down there towards Sunderland Point. But I've had some ibuprofen, some paracetamol, I'm having some brew. We'll be good. It's all good. We've got some blue skies over there, which is always a good sign. Yeah. Cheers. That was a long week. The Ukraine war still going. Poots taking one of the key cities. All the rest are under siege. Do feel sorry for the civilians. I do feel sorry for my brothers and sisters in the church who are currently in both west and east and struggling, really struggling. So doing a lot of prayer for them guys. Yeah, very blessed. Said to a mate of mine this week, someone on the radio was complaining about how bad the year had been, but from our perspective, you've got to look at the positives. Here I am hiking, I've got a brew, I'm not in the war zone. COVID's pretty much come to an end at the minute, no restrictions. Oh, called it COVID, damn it. Charlie Victor. So plenty to be thankful for. Yeah, I'm tired. Just from the gym, kind of muscle sore. Be fine. Well, nature's picked me up. You know what the biggest problem of sitting down is? Yep, getting back up. Yeah. Oh. Thankful for the brew, but if I sit here any longer, I'm not getting back up. Let's move on. So now we're heading to the west, northwest, follow the curve of the river. Very parallel to Glasson Dock, like I said. And then we're going to come round and hit south down to Sunderland Point. Man, that's a polytunnel. That's one for Dad. The size of that. With some serious growing. And where there's waterfronts, beaches, rivers, there's the obligatory campfire. Obviously these people have practiced leave no trace. I mean, it's only by sheer chance that I stumbled across that camp. I suppose starting a fire will get out of control, it'll be pretty difficult down here, especially once the tide came in. And you can see already the tide comes way up to here and probably a little bit up that wall when it does come in. As with tides, you always need to be aware of when they're going in, when they're coming out, because it happens pretty damn quick. And on the wire where I started to walk, and obviously the tide came in eventually, and it was incredible how high it got in such a short period of time. So if you happen to be stood on here, you better have an escape route pretty damn quick. So usually in areas where there's footpaths through, things like this, there'll be a timetable posted, but you can get it on Google and it'll tell you which time of the year and what time the tide comes in. So you just look for your date and see, and it's pretty accurate. So don't attempt to walk on anything if you're too near the time. Don't attempt it, find another way, yeah? You really don't want to be caught out in something like this. But we're not so bad, because I planned ahead and I've done this route before. And we're now going to join an actual footpath, which I assume gets us out of the way. No risk yet, the tide coming in. Whoa, nice slip there at the end. Yeah, and there it is. I think that Heysham plant looks a bit like Squidward. Squidward. He's got his nose. Or maybe one of those villagers off Minecraft. Anyway, on we go. That, my friends, is a cut from 5:55 on Thursday evening. Managed the whole week, no injuries. Managed quite a while with no injuries. Using an angle grinder, I thought, you know what, I'll just sink it into my hand. Got a nice big nick in the knuckle of my right hand there. Genius. So, got a bit of Sudocrem on and it's bandaged up. Oh yeah, you want to know what's in there? It is the humble belly JB. Well, bag for them. So even though I feel a bit poo, and I suspect it's one or two reasons, it's either today's workout, which doesn't normally affect me, or it's the beginnings of a cold that's been going through my family at the minute. And it reminded me that even though my body is quite fine to go on, my head's going, nah, Ma, get the road. Go home, get yourself off, you go rest and recover. And it reminded me of someone who was doing the Gritstone Trail. It's only a 2-dayer, 2 lots of 18 miles. And the weather got in and it was quite rainy, a bit windy. And this person went home. And it got me thinking about at which point is it right to go home and which point is it right to just press on, because your brain always gives up before your body does. If you've done any weightlifting or weight training, you know that to get your muscle to actually work to failure, you've got to override your brain that's screaming at you to, oh, stop, stop, stop. Because your brain's going to give up before your body does. You've always got something left in the tank. And it's kind of the same with hiking. There are times when you need to turn around and go home because there's serious danger. And I think, in my opinion, that's all it is. It's quite obvious when those moments come. You get that gut feeling, you're like, oh, I really don't like this. It's really making me nervous. And that really is an indicator that, yeah, your subconscious, your internal feelings are kind of going, yeah, this isn't right. And then there's times when you're just uncomfortable. Maybe you've come out for a walk and now it's started raining and you're like, kind of miserable. And that might just be your mood. And finding a balance between when it's right to walk away and when it's right to just press on, you need to find for yourself. But I do think, and my warning is, whatever you think it is, it's probably worth pushing on just a little bit more, especially if it's just rain and you don't really see a danger element, or you're trying to convince yourself there is a danger element that isn't there. Push yourself a little bit harder just in case it's your thoughts or feelings just getting in the way. But I do say that when you do get that feeling of it being impending danger, you know you're on striding edge, it's windy, it's raining, they're obvious, these danger situations. Go home, turn around, go home. But when the danger isn't quite as obvious, perhaps just push yourself a little bit more, just a smidge, see if you can get anything else out of you, get past those feelings, and maybe carry on and enjoy the walk. Because I have done that. I've carried on, I've pushed through, and actually had a really good walk after that. You know, maybe the sun's come out, the terrain got better, and I've had a really good day and never regretted it. So that's all I've got to say. But remember, please, it is just my opinion. You do you. I would rather you went home safely than argue that I told you to carry on across Cribgoch, slid off and died. Let's find balance, people. Let's find balance and push ourselves a little bit more. Lovely. So here's a lesson for you. Never cut a corner. That, my friends, is deeper than it looks. Last time I went straight in that, up to my shin. I ain't falling for you this time. I'm not falling for you either. We're going to go all the way around. So we're going to follow this road through the marshes. So it's laid marshes all the way to Sunderland Point. And as you can see from the sign and the evidence, pretty liable to flooding. And we're alright at the minute. Escape route is that way. We'll head up to that berm if we needed to. I think we get plenty of warning. And cars have been coming up and down here pretty regularly. So, safe to proceed. And there is a warning here that says, danger, do not proceed when the posts are in the water. Yeah, sounds like good advice. So, we're going to carry on. Heysham's still there on the right. Squidward! Get to Sunderland Point. So it's Sunderland Point. The first time I went, I knew nothing about it, but it's a nice little sort of thing. I can only call it a finger of land. I don't know what the geographical term is, but it's got a few houses, got some monuments, some sort of statues, and then there's Samboo's grave. And no, before you rail at me, it's not racism. The guy's name was Samboo. So back on talking about getting off the trail when you feel like it. The other problem I have with this kind of thing is if you don't push yourself hard enough. I'm not talking about mental health issues, so let's put those two aside. Mental health issues an obvious danger. But the problem is if you make a habit of leaving the trail when things get uncomfortable, or perhaps when your mood's not quite right, or you're just not in the right place. It breeds a habit, and it's a very difficult habit to break. Whereas if you go the other way, you build a habit, which is discipline, which is you telling your mind, no, we're not giving up just yet, we're going to push on a little bit harder. So you're overcoming your mind and getting a little bit more out of the tank in your physical body. And it's understanding the difference, and that's discipline. This is really the root of what we mean by discipline, which is training, discipling yourself. That's where we get the word disciple from. A disciplined person, someone who's taught. And once you start to discipline your body, and maybe getting up early, getting up on time, getting things done, you build habits that are difficult to break later in life because they're good habits. But the same is true in reverse, that if you start developing bad habits and you lose out on discipline, then you'll breed habits that you'll be very hard to get rid of. So now we're cutting west to hit Samboo's grave. We can't really go down to Sunderland Point. It's sort of private area for the houses there, but you saw a little bit then. So the old hall is just down there at the tip. So we'll hit the western side, we'll get some nice views, and we'll go and have a look at Samboo's grave. Maybe think about having some sandwich and another brew. We're about the halfway point once we finish with Samboo's grave. Slow. Some better days. Not getting really much for that. There we go. So I ended up sitting down and waiting for two local dog walkers to come up and down here and then go on the way. Said the tide's due in at 12-ish, so I've got a bit of coast to walk that way, so I've still got plenty of time to do that. But let's check out Samboo's grave. Nice shredder there. and Scooby-Doo. So like I said, this poor lad, who was a servant of his captain, just got dumped at the inn, and then the other guy vanished. And because he couldn't speak English or find out what had happened to the captain, he just gave up on life, went down, died days later, and people buried him. But then that chap came back and learned about the story and gave him a proper grave. So it's more of a testimony to the slave trade and how barbarous it was and how grateful we are that it ended. So yeah, people keep coming back, putting stuff on the grave, and I'm not quite sure why Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was there. But there you go. So I'm not quite ready for a brew of the butter yet, my sandwich. So we have some water and we're going to carry on. Press on northward now, with Squidward still on the horizon. So yeah, let's go. So we're heading now up along the coast to Potts Corner, where we're then going to break off, head into town and begin our topmost part, 11-12 o'clock of the circular route. So a bit of urban walking, a bit of town walking, and I think when we get Potts Corner I might stop, have my brew there. So just giving this dog walker a chance to get up in front. Going a lot faster than I am. Chicken wrap. Good eating. Guy sat over there with a telescope. Want some of that sriracha sauce on. So we're about halfway, 6.5 miles, maybe a bit more. We're going to go down there and head into town itself. We'll just have a few minutes here, rest. Whew. Still cold, but still a dry day. Mostly blue sky. Weather report again. Got Danny Boy coming tonight. Put me slacky pants on. Relax. I have to have a pizza. It's gonna have to be done. It's gotta be a pizza. Don't feel like a burger tonight. Pizza night tonight. Bowling Fells again. You can see him way off in the distance there. So got quite a bit of country road walking. Then we're into higher Heysham. And then we're going to shoot east into some fields. Start our return loop. So if you imagine on the circular route that we're on, we're going clockwise. Where we park the cars kind of 1-2 o'clock. We're at 11 at the minute, 10-11. So circling round, bring us through that town and then back round to the car. So nice and peaceful. And the weather's done really well. So feeling energised after my sandwich, my brew. Not enough benches round here. Not enough benches. A lot of holiday parks though. I don't know why you'd come here for a caravan holiday. I'm not sure. It's like 3 here. Maybe to go to Morecambe? I don't know. I'd like to live in one though. Always like my caravans. That's swanky. There's another one. Greendales. Popular area. So this isn't obviously part of my route. It's where I've gone to answer the call of nature. It's supposed to be a tip restoration site. Looks like somewhere I'd play paintball. NVS is a lot like this, north versus south. Just disused land. But Middleton Wood. Phase 1. It was like that last time I was here. Anyway, back on the road. Sun's out. Yeah, it's a little bit warmer. But yeah, up to higher Heysham now. Some slogging this trail. Slogging. Oh, hang on. Just in case you didn't know. Why bag it and just leave it? Just pulled off the road, so we're south of Heysham, sort of Middleton Business Park area, and we're just hammering up the main road. Even got a pavement, so we're all good. Just slogging out the miles, not much to see. Pretty industrial, as you'd expect. Oh yeah, hard work. Crab apples. So apart from that, nothing else to say. Yeah, sun's out, it's definitely warmed up, but I'm not taking my coat off. I like my coat. So, we're carrying on north. Let's do this. Maybe there's a coffee shop on the way. I could really do with more coffee. You can't have enough coffee. Never. Wouldn't be one of my hikes without a golf course. Heysham Golf Course. Well, break time, the sun is shining, I'm sweating, and I'm in the middle of higher Heysham, so short of finding a coffee shop, I'm going to soak up some rays. So we're out of higher Heysham, back in the boonies, and I'm very happy about that. Get a little bit angsty when you're in a busy urban area. People start looking at you like you're weird, but then when you're out in the sticks, nobody bats an eyelid. Bizarre. So we're heading east now, not long left to go. Follow this public footpath, winds its way around to the Golden Ball where we parked, and that pretty much ends it. But we're ending on a high in the woodlands with our fells off in the distance there. It's got proper warm now, proper warm, with the afternoon sun, which is looking good for spring. Gets me excited for a bit of summer weather. I'm obsessed with the weather. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of urban areas. They're useful when you're hiking to resupply and maybe grab a coffee, which I didn't get. There was a co-op, but I didn't feel like going in. But yeah, I'm happy to pass straight through them, get out to the other side, get back in the woods, or at least farmland. So on the whole, if you haven't already guessed, I'm pretty introvert in personality. I kind of like to spend most of my time on my own, and then spend a small amount of time with a select number of people. I'm sure most hikers are like that. And not to let the world sort of encroach on all your spare time and just control it. And I know some people, extroverts, are quite happy to, they have to be doing something with somebody all the time, but I ain't like that. I like spending time with people, but in a cordial and controlled way. Yeah, I sound like a dick, don't I? Right, this way, across yonder bridge. Can't see where, oh yeah, I remember. There's another bridge over there. But yeah, I have a lot of time and a lot of love for people and the problems. But I can only handle so much, and then it starts affecting me, so I like to make sure that I'm spending quality time with people and not just time. You know, if I'm going to do something, I make sure it's quality time, doing something that person wants to do, what I want to do, and we get some good chats in. So that's why I'm excited to see my brother tonight. I love spending time with him. And my other mate, Siege, the legend that is Siege, C.J. Stewart, singer and performer, which does a great Ollie Murs impression. He'll hate me for saying that. So yeah, and these are people I do like to spend time with, but I also like to get out in the hills, in the dales, by myself. So when I hit a town or a very public place, I kind of get a bit angsty. And I suspect that most hikers feel the same way. That's kind of why we do it. That was a very convoluted locking mechanism. Right, the weather is absolutely perfect. You know I'm obsessed with the weather, and the temperature's mint-all. So we're going to cross here. This reminds me that at the end of here there was a field full of cows, and this is a famous story of me walking through them, and one charged me, more like an excited puppy, and I just went whoa, 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 and he ground to a halt just like a dog would. It was quite funny, she. But you know me and cows, they kind of terrify me, so it was a bit of a shock. But he did stop, which I appreciate. She stopped. Cows, female obviously, not a bull. So that's at the end of this, just before we hit the Golden Ball. So we'll see if there's some cows in there. But I know I keep saying it and I can't really express it on the camera, but you can see the bowl and the fells there, which we will be getting back to now we've took a break. So it's great to be able to see them, and at some point we were on top of there looking down this way. So great, let's do it. I will say, going that way towards Morecambe and all that, you can see actually poking up on the horizon the Lake District, which is great. Lovely. delightful tramp through the field. Sun's just red hot. Whew. It's beautiful, man. Carry on down this road, pick up the main road. Job's a good one. Ooh, gorgeous. Couldn't have asked for better weather. And wind turbines are doing not very much. Not much business. I just checked the feeds, and at the moment Poots has just taken control of a power plant. Apparently it's the biggest in Europe, nuclear plant. The world's crying out how dangerous it was to take it. Could have caused 6 Chernobyls. That's like 9/11 times 1,000. Sorry, Team America reference. Anyway, pushing on. Poots is doing what Poots is doing, and we're out here. And we've got plenty to be thankful for. That's where we're going. Oh man, that was one long march. So, Lythe Bridge takes us back towards the car, and you can see, no, you can't see, the River Loon's behind us. Quite high this time. Yeah, quite the march that, 13 miles. Nearly done, nearly back at the car. I need coffee, I really do need coffee. Well, that's stiff. There we go. If in doubt, lift it out. Come on, this one's got to be better. Just take it away with you. Oh, slides. I mean, what a change from all that urban. I mean, it's glorious. Glorious sunshine. Ugh. No cows today, just sheep. Well, yeah. Last stretch. I'll be honest, flagging a bit tired. And shoulders are a bit sore, carrying the weight. Good practice though, good to get an idea of where we're at fitness wise. Really ready to do some multi-day hiking now. Now we've got the window of daylight, which is like 6 till 6 now. We've got a good 12 hours of daylight. So good, baby. Oh, the sheep are here. Sorry, I'm not letting you out. Oh, I'm hiding. Oh, heck. And there's the road. You can see how much of that's flooded now. We won't be going that way, we should be going back the way we came. But yeah, we're that way. That is a bit flooded. All the way up there. We walked through that this morning. There was no flooding. Thankfully, we're going this way. I spoke too soon. Try and get around this edge here. Well, you do find some junk out here. Huh. Chose the other side instead. Just saw a car go all the way through it. So as fast as they could do it. Every credit. I know some people will look and say, just walk through it. But no matter how good your boots are, water can get in the top. And I really don't want wet feet. And I don't want to have to spend the rest of the week drying my boots. At a push, I would go barefoot. I know that risks standing on something. Oh, there's a barbed wire there. Oh, but made me think about putting flip-flops in the car, in the bag, should I say? Because I would do if I was doing a multi-day hike and have flip-flops. Put the flip-flops on, walk through, trousers rolled up. So that's how I'd do it. Back at the car. Well, a wonderful surprise that where I've parked, the tide had obviously come in higher than I expected, and all my footwells in my car are soaking wet. That's going to take some drying out. Anyway, the engine's fine, engine starts fine. It's not got anywhere near the seats or anything like that, but how bizarre, eh? How bizarre. So, note to self, don't park near the river. Right, anyway guys, that was quite a good trail. Exhausting, quite glad of the workout, but wow, that was a tough one. And yeah, blessed by the sunshine, blessed by some of the views towards Sunderland Point, and yeah, overall a good trail. So I'm going to shoot off, get this car dried out, and I guess I'll see you next time back on the trail.